we are. 91 FM, Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. It's 7 a.m. The skies and shine. So talks money, the future's aligned. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom, time will fly. Author, Mr. Educator, team sharing the wealth, building things you should know. From trust to banking, it's all of us. Your guide to wealth is learning to trust. Legacy matters, secure it right. Dreams take shape with every insight. Rules and assets, life insurance plans. Building for your future with expert hands. So talk money and more. Things in wealth, knowledge galore. Asset protection plans to grow. Dreaming and watch your dreams overflow. Transportation, trust to life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. The biggest days, trust to life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. And now it's time to learn. So wisdom's your return. Invest, protect, and thrive for sure. Signing off is go talk money and more. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to rise and shine for another edition of So Talks Money and More. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted, and I am so excited and delighted to be here this third Monday in September with our WMPR 90.1 FM and WGDQ 93.1 FM listening audience, as well as my YouTube and my Facebook viewing audience. Now, if you've been following the show, you know we got some good stuff to talk about. We started a conversation about life insurance the first Monday in September, and we're going to continue that conversation today, talking about specifically the top 5 life insurance mistakes Black families keep making. Now, if you're new to the show, or if this is your first time catching this show around this topic, please, I encourage you, go back and watch my other videos, which are on YouTube at I Am So Noted. That's IAM S.E.W. NOTED, because we want you to catch up. We want you to catch up, and we want you to keep up with this conversation around life insurance. Now, today, we're going to add some stories, some statistics, historical perspective, and some practical steps that you can take right now. By the end of this hour, my prayer is that you not only understand the importance of life insurance, but that you feel empowered to act. You know, Dr. Williams is big on implementation. You know what I say, you know my saying. I can give you the information, I can give you the education, but until and unless there is implementation, the situation will not change. So we hope that by the end of this series of lessons on life insurance, that you feel empowered to act, if not for yourself, for your children, your grandchildren, your family members. So go ahead, get comfortable, wake up. You've had a full night's rest. Get on up, get comfortable, grab your notebook, and let's dive in. Good morning to all of those that are viewing on both YouTube and Facebook. Let's talk mistakes. Now, the number one mistake I would say that most of us make is waiting too long to get coverage. Waiting too long to get that coverage. One of the most devastating mistakes that we see in our community is this: I'll get around to it later. Waiting too long to get that coverage. In fact, according to 2023 research study by the Life Insurance Marketing and Research Association, 38% of Black adults say they know they need life insurance, but they haven't taken any action. The reasons they give tend to vary. Some of them think that life insurance is too expensive. Others think that they don't need it really until they get older. And then some are just simply pushed
to just move that to the side. They got so much going on their plates. They just say, life feels overwhelming enough as it is. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. But here's the reality, you guys. The younger and healthier you are when you apply for life insurance, the lower your premiums will be. Now, let me give you an example here. A healthy 25-year-old Black woman might pay around $20 a month for a $250,000 term policy. But if she waits, if she puts it off for 25 years until she turns 45, that same coverage could cost around $80 a month. And if health problems show up, and you know they sometimes do, health problems show up, she might not even qualify for that insurance. So waiting is literally costing us money, you guys. And sometimes it doesn't just cost us money, it costs us access to help life insurance. Now, I know a family where the father was actually diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 42. When he applied for his life insurance policy after the diagnosis, his premium skyrocketed to nearly $300 a month. And that was just for modest coverage. If he had gotten that insurance policy, let's say when he was in his 20s or his 30s a month, now his delay meant that his family had to adjust their entire household budget just to keep coverage in place. This is why it is so important, you guys, that we don't wait, that we don't put off getting life insurance. You know, our health is very precious and time is money, as they say. And Dr. Williams feels like time is more valuable than money because we only have a certain amount of it. We can always make more money, but we can't get more time. So when it comes to life insurance, just remember, time is of the essence. So what does this mean for you? Here is my challenge to you. Lean in, tune up, turn the radio up, because I'm talking to you people out there that are waiting. My folks, my people, my family, if you are waiting to get life insurance, if you are under 40 years old and you don't have coverage, go ahead and get that in place today. Don't wait, don't delay. Even a small policy now can save your family money, much money later. So number one, waiting too long to get coverage. Now, second mistake that we often see that Black families make as it relates to life insurance is not getting enough coverage. Many of us think life insurance is just about covering burial costs. Now, we've talked about that. We talked about that in our first week when we talked about GoFundMe not being a viable option. We talked about it last week. Life insurance is not called life insurance for no reason. It's not just called life insurance for no reason. It is not just simply about burial costs. Yes, funerals are expensive. I get it. The average cost of a funeral today runs anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000. But life insurance should cover so much more than a casket and some flowers. Think about it. Your monthly bills, everything from your rent, your mortgage, car notes, utilities, child care, groceries. Question for you. If something happens to you tomorrow, could your family keep up with all of these expenses, all of these bills? And especially if you are the breadwinner. I'm talking to my breadwinners in the family, whoever that may be, whether it's the mother in the family or the father in the family. If something happens to you tomorrow, could your family maintain their standard of living? Could your spouse, could your children maintain the same quality of life? Now, too many of us buy, the smaller policies, the $10,000 or the $15,000 policies, which are helpful. Don't misunderstand what I'm suggesting. They are helpful when it comes to being able to cover burial expenses. But remember, there are so many more expenses associated with our lives than just the burial aspect. We should actually be buying policies that are anywhere from 200 to 300,000 in coverage. Now, I know you say, Dr. Williams, that's maybe easier said than done, because after all, after slavery, Black families were systemically denied access to wealth building tools like land ownership, or fair banking, or life insurance. One of the only financial products Black communities consistently had access to was, in fact, life insurance, you guys. Companies like North Carolina Mutual were founded because mainstream insurers refused to serve us, folks that look like us. Our ancestors understood. They understood the assignment. They understood that life insurance was not just about death. It was about economic survival and dignity. They did understand that. Unfortunately, a lot of times they were limited to those burial policies. Now, we're going to reclaim our mindset today. We're going to reclaim it because now that we know better, we are called to do better. So the action item that I have for you, my suggestion to you, any of you that are listening to me that don't have enough coverage, as a general rule of thumb, buy at least 10 to 12 times your annual income in coverage. 10 to 12 times your annual income in coverage. So that means if you earn $50,000 a year, your policy should be at least $500,000. And why? This will ensure that your family has enough time, enough resources to grieve without immediately having to scramble for survival. So the number 2 mistake that we're making, you guys, is not getting enough coverage when we are actually getting these life insurance policies. Now, number 3, I want to say this one, and I need you to lean in this morning and listen to me. Those of you who have minor children, too often, parents list their children directly as beneficiaries. But think about this. What can a minor really legally do? First of all, does a minor even have the mental capacity, the financial knowledge and literacy that is required to even manage money? Y'all know the answer just like I know it. No, they don't. Minors cannot legally receive life insurance payouts, you guys. That money that you are intending to leave behind for your children, guess where it's going? It will be tied up in probate court until a guardian is appointed. Now, y'all know how I feel about probate court. If you've listened to me any length of time, you should know that I am not a fan of probate at all. So when we do this, when we name our minor children as beneficiaries, we leave them struggling financially. Even though our intentions were good, it doesn't end good, you guys. Let me give you an example. Let's say mother passes away and leaves her 10-year-old son as the sole beneficiary of a $100,000 life insurance policy. Because that son is a minor, those funds are going to be locked up in court, sometimes for years, again, until a guardian can be appointed. Now, during that time frame, think about it. If it takes 2 years, 3 years, somebody has to take care of the child all that time. Some family member or friend or someone has to take care of that child, provide for that child's needs. Now, your intentions are good. Everybody's intentions are good. And in full transparency, I was making the same mistake until I learned better. Didn't make any sense to leave my minor children as beneficiaries on a life insurance policy. None whatsoever. So, what was meant to be a blessing, you guys, or what is meant to be a blessing for our children, can actually end up being a burden. It can be a burden. So, a better option for handling these resources is to set up a trust and name the trust as the beneficiary. Now, if you need help with that, you're in the right place, because Dr. Williams has written the book on it, Learning to Trust, the Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. Call me up. I will be happy to help you with that. 601-891-5611. Again, that's 601-891-5611. It's a better option for how to handle your life insurance policy when you have minor children. Either set up and establish a trust or choose a trusted adult who can manage the funds responsibly until your child comes of age. This will ensure that your wishes are carried out and your children are protected. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, I think I shared this on air last week. My mother's baby sister was killed when she was 35 years old in a car accident. She left behind 2 young children, you guys, and her money did end up in a trust that was distributed to her children over time. Okay, so it was not given to those minor children. Now, I encourage you again, if you need help with establishing your trust, please give us a call. Let us help you. We can help you get this done very quickly. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it is essential if you have young children. And I'm going to say it again for the record for those that may just be tuning in. Dr. Williams was guilty of making this same mistake. I was a young mother once. My husband and I were young parents. We didn't know any better. We named our children as our beneficiaries. We thought we were doing a good thing. But when we learned better, we started to do better, you guys. And that's what I'm encouraging us to do. And that's why we're having this conversation this morning. One of the top 5 mistakes that we're making with our life insurance policies is naming minors as beneficiaries. Now, let's move on to number 4. Only having coverage through your employer. Only having coverage through your employer. This is a big no-no. No. We cannot limit ourselves to employer-provided life insurance coverage. Yes, it's convenient, but it's temporary. Unless you plan to work for that same employer all of your natural-born life, if you leave that job, if you retire, if you get laid off, that coverage often disappears. Now, I'm talking specifically to those that are in the workplace that have life insurance coverage through employers. I know that Nissan North America here in Mississippi is undergoing some changes. Many people have opted for the buyout, the early retirement, and are leaving, have left, or will be leaving Nissan. So if they're already at work, I'm looking at the clock, it's 7:18, and I think they have to be on the line before 7:30. So chances are they may not be listening to So Talks Money and More today. But if you're listening and you have a loved one who works at Nissan, please let them know. Please implore them. Get them some life insurance outside of that employer, especially if they opt not to take that coverage with them when they leave the job, you guys. Too many families have found themselves unprotected after a job loss or a career change. Let me give you an example. Let's go back to just a few years ago during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thousands of us, thousands of us, Black workers lost their jobs. And with those job losses, they lost their life insurance coverage. Families were left vulnerable at the worst possible time when they needed that insurance the most. And you know we needed it. You guys, y'all saw what I saw. We were dying left and right. This shows you, just this example shows you why employer coverage should be seen as a bonus, but not the foundation. Not the foundation of our plans for our families. No. So, what am I imploring you to do? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am imploring you to purchase an individual policy outside of your work, outside of your job that belongs to you, so that if you transfer your job, employment, if you move, if you change careers, you will still have coverage. It will follow you no matter where you go. Want to think of that job coverage as extra padding and not the main pillow for your family and that your family depends on. Now, again, if you have not been following our conversation around life insurance, I will remind you, even in my own life, my husband and I actually got life insurance before we were ever even married, because it was so important to us to make sure that we were covered, that the other one would be okay if something were to happen along the way. That was 30 years ago, you guys, over 30 years, because we've been married 30 years. We still have that policy today. So throughout that 30-year period, we have experienced job changes. That policy has followed us during those times when we did not have employer life insurance coverage. We were still covered. So again, I want to encourage you and implore you to get you something beyond, and especially my young people. I'm probably talking to more of an older or more seasoned audience. If I could see you, I cannot see you, but if I had to guess, I'm sure most of my listeners are probably more seasoned. Have this conversation with your children. Have this conversation with your grandchildren. Please implore them to get them some life insurance beyond that employer. And the number 5, coverage through the employer. Number 5, I feel so passionate about this one, you guys. We're going to not only talk about it today, we're going to introduce it today, but we're going to really roll this one back, peel the onion back. I feel very passionate about number 5, and it is a mistake that I would venture to say probably 90 to 95% of us are making. I'm going to go on record as saying probably more than 90%, more than 95%, probably 95 to 98% of us are making this mistake. So this is in order, even though I did this one as number 5, this is probably the number 1 mistake that most of us are making when it comes to life insurance. I wish I had some sound effects. I'd say drum roll, please. What is that mistake? I'm glad you asked. The number 1 mistake I would say that most of our community is making when it comes to life insurance is not really understanding that we are not properly using life insurance. We are not using life insurance to build wealth. That is what we are not doing. We're getting it wrong, you guys. Life insurance can do so much more than cover funeral expenses. It can actually create wealth if we only knew what to do, how to do, and then if we executed and did it. Permanent policies like whole life or high cash value whole life. Let me qualify that. Not just regular whole life policies, but high cash value whole life insurance policies or index universal life build cash value over time. This money can be borrowed against for things like education, starting a business, buying property. Wealthy families know this. They already know this. We talk about this 1% that we have in this country. Believe you me, these people are using these strategies to build wealth. That's how they became wealthy. They use these strategies and they have used them for generations to not only build wealth, but to quietly transfer millions of dollars across lifetimes. We're talking generational wealth here, my people. This is how they are doing it, through life insurance policies. Now, let me give you an example of what this would look like. A Black couple purchased the whole life insurance policies for their 2 young children when they were just toddlers. By the time the children reached 25 years old, each policy had built up enough cash value to help with a down payment on a first home. That's a legacy in action. They had enough money. They didn't have to go to the bank. They didn't have to have a great credit score. They didn't have to get pre-qualified. Why? Because they had established a family bank. They could go to the family bank and get what they needed. This is what we are not doing, you guys. And I'm not beating us up. I'm not, because most of us don't know this. And that's a great thing that we don't know, and we acknowledge what we don't know, because that's what this show is about. That's what Dr. Williams is using her platform for, to educate us on the things that we don't know. Now, again, I can give you the information. I can give you the education all day long. But at some point, somebody has to step up and start implementing these things. There has to be some application and some implementation. Now, if you feel like that's not you, then that's fine too. But please share this information with other people, because there are so many people out there in our community that can benefit from this information. Now, back to action step. Action step. If you already have a term policy, that's good if you have term insurance. And for those that may just be joining the conversation, let's take a step back. A term policy is just what it says. It's a term, a temporary policy. So if you have a 10-year term, that means you have coverage for 10 years, as long as you are paying those premiums. Okay, if you have a 20-year term, you have coverage for 20 years, as long as you're paying the premium, and so on. You can get a 30-year term. You have that coverage. However, if you outlive the term, guess what? All of those premiums that you have paid for the past 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years, all right, you just lose that. That's a risk that you take. So you are literally taking a risk that you will either outlive the policy, and then the insurance company is banking on the fact that you will outlive the policy. That's how they make their money, you guys. It is what it is. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But if you don't outlive the policy, then your family will get to cash in and benefit from the face value of that policy. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say term. And term is good. If you already have that, that's good. But I implore you again to also consider adding a permanent policy as part of your long-term wealth building strategy. This part right here ain't for everybody. I get that. But there are some people that want to know how to do more than just survive. They want to know how to thrive. So that's who I'm talking to. That's who this section is for right here. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm okay with that. Those of you that are interested in learning how to not only protect your family, transfer your wealth, but how to build it, please consider adding a permanent policy as part of your long-term wealth building strategy. It's not about survival. It's not about survival, just surviving. It's about creating opportunities for the next generation. So with that being said, again, I go back to the conversation around these naming these minors as beneficiaries and the need for establishing a trust. If you need help with that, please give Dr. Williams a call at 601-891-5611. We want to make sure that our families are adequately protected. I'm looking at the clock and we've come to the half-hour mark. So I'm going to pause right here so that we can do a quick station break. And when we come back on the other side, I need to shift the conversation just a little bit. We're going to make it a little bit more personal and intimate. And then we're going to bring it right on back to life insurance. Mr. Armstrong, I'm going to throw it to you now.
Portion of this program has been underwritten by Unity Learning Center. Here are 5 facts about Unity Learning Center. We provide 2 meals and a snack per day. We teach the basic curriculum. We have experienced and dedicated employees. We offer a safe environment. We offer after-school care. Here's an extra one. We teach. We don't babysit. Unity Learning Center, 6045 Highway 18 West in Jackson, Mississippi. Give Ms. Armstrong a call today at the phone number 601-922-6003. That's 601-922-6003. WMPR is proud to have Unity Learning Center as an underwriter. Talk. Something like that for me. That's what I like. That's kind of coming up. History. I still have a dream. We've already achieved and more. WPR's What Are You Looking For? 19.1 FM.
All right, we're back. We're back. If you're just joining us, we thank you so much for tuning into So Talks Money and More today. This month, the month of September, we have been discussing life insurance. If you're new to the conversation, we want to welcome you. We want to encourage you to go back and catch up. You kind of late to class, and we got assignments, and we got them available to you on our YouTube channel, which is at I Am So Noted, at IAM SEW NOTED. Want you to go back and view those videos because we've talked about some good stuff, you guys. We talked about GoFundMe. We broke that down, why that should not be a viable option for our community when it comes to putting away our loved ones, as well as making sure that our families are protected when we pass on. Last week, we actually did a breakdown of insurance, what insurance is, and we explained it on a level that hopefully everybody can understand. Now, I see that I do have a question on my YouTube page, and I want to go ahead and address this. We actually talked about this again, but for those of you that are new to the conversation, the question that I have is, should you have term life insurance or whole life insurance? That's a very good question. And the answer, which is my standard answer to most questions, is it depends. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, whether or not you should have term or whole life. And it also depends on who you ask. Now, if you ask someone who sells term life insurance, they're going to tell you absolutely why you should have term life insurance. If you ask someone who sells whole life insurance, they're going to tell you absolutely why you need whole life insurance. Dr. Williams is going to tell you it depends on what you are trying to accomplish. I have had, and I currently have, both types of insurance. As I said earlier before the break, my husband and I took out policies on each other prior to ever even getting married. We took out term insurance because that was the most affordable option for us at that time. We were both students. We didn't have any money. I won't even say we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have any money. We were struggling students, but we wanted to make sure that if something were to happen to the other, that we would be protected. So we took out term policies, and we still have those term policies to this day. Along the way, we actually increased the coverage that we had as our life changed. As we became homeowners, as we had children, we established our family, we increased the amount of coverage that we had in terms of our term policies. But when our focus shifted to things that we could do to start building wealth, and as we learned differently, we also added that to our portfolio as well. The whole life insurance policies, the high cash value whole life insurance policies. Let me just clarify and make it clear, okay? So we have added that as another strategy to our wealth building plan. So it really depends on what you are trying to accomplish. I am not pro term over whole life. I'm not pro whole life over term. I will always say it depends on what you and your family, first of all, what you can afford. Second of all, what you're trying to accomplish. For some people, they may not be interested in building wealth. I don't know why in the world they would not be interested, but some people are not. They're not on that, okay? And it is what it is. No, but if you're not, then it really the conversation. I got this little natter going on again over here, Mr. Armstrong. I don't know. It depends on what you are trying to accomplish. So thank you for your question. I hope that I have adequately addressed your concern. Thank you for posing that question. Now, again, as I said right before the break, I need to shift right here, you guys. There's something that has been on my heart and in my spirit, and it's going to make sense. I know you're going to probably be baffled at why I would go here, but I'm going to bring it all back home. You know, Dr. Williams always does. Sometimes I go kind of out in left field, and I'm going to go ahead and qualify this and preference this and give the disclaimers. If we had time, I would have Mr. Armstrong go over there and find that little disclaimer right now. This what I'm about to say does not express any views of WMPR, WGDQ, Facebook, or YouTube. This is Dr. Williams right here. Okay. There are some things that we got to take we got to address them, and we got to step back and peel the onion back a little bit. So here we go. For the past few days, if you have been in America and not been under a rock, you know that there's been a lot of talk about a certain individual, someone who I had never even heard of before last week. Hadn't heard of him. And you know what? He probably hadn't heard of me either. So it doesn't matter that I hadn't heard of him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Charlie Clerk. Y'all go ahead and say this. I am very concerned that many of us are getting caught up in conversations that are costing us, you guys. The number of people that I see that are losing their employment because they are sharing their opinions in public spaces. Let me just say this and let me be clear. I know that we live in a country where we are told that we have freedom of speech and a whole lot of other freedoms. But my question is, has freedom ever really been free? Has it ever really been free? Now, yes, you are free to express your opinions, your thoughts in public spaces if that's what you choose to do. But just know that if you do that, it's probably going to come at a consequence. You may have to pay a price for doing so. Now, just because we can do something does not necessarily mean, you guys. Just because we can say things, that doesn't mean that we should. And that's Bible. Everything is not necessarily advised. Just because it's permissible doesn't mean that it's advised that you do that. And I say that again, not because I feel one way or the other about that gentleman. I didn't know him. I didn't know him. And to be honest with you, Had I known him, I probably would not have agreed with much of the stuff that I have heard that he espoused. But that's not what this is about. So please don't misinterpret it. Please don't come up in my comments saying nothing, because that's not what I'm here to do. Let the dead bury the dead. Let them handle that. I'm not concerned about that. But what I am concerned about is you. You, and you. My Facebook list viewers, my YouTube viewers, my WMPR and my WGDQ listening audience. I am concerned far more about you than I am about Charlie Kirk. Why? Because Charlie Kirk, you can best believe he had life insurance. His family is going to be okay. They're going to be okay, y'all. Don't be around here losing your job, your employment. Don't be around here putting yourself at risk, jumping in a conversation about something that at the end of the day, it don't even matter, y'all. It don't matter. That ain't your fight. Let that be. What you do need to do, though, is lean in and tune in to this conversation. This is your business over here. What we're talking about over here, especially if you know that you don't have life insurance, if you know you don't have enough coverage, if you know you have minors listed as your beneficiaries, if you know you only have coverage through your employer, and if you know that you are not using life insurance to build wealth. This is the conversation you need to be a part of. And I encourage you, don't get caught up in all that social media chatter that at the end of the day really does not matter. Because I remember us saying, Mr. Armstrong, I know you've heard it too, opinions are like behinds. We all have one. Again, just because you can say some things doesn't mean you necessarily should say them. Sometimes we got to use what they call discernment. We don't always have to say everything that we think. It's okay. But now what I am, again, encouraging you to do, search your heart. Think about your situation, your family situation. Do you have what you need? Does your family have what they need? That's the discussion. Don't get distracted by all that other stuff. The question is, what are you doing to protect your own family? Because again, trust me, Mr. Man's family is okay. His family gonna be okay, you guys. And I want to say this while I'm here, and then I'm gonna jump back on script. There's something else that's troubling me right now. As I said, I had never heard of this guy before last week. Now I can't stop hearing about him. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, you hear. My question is this: How is it, or why, not even how, why is it that other communities support their own, no matter what the messaging is? No matter what the messaging is, positive, negative, whatever, they will support their own. But you have people like myself, like Dr. Kentrell Liddell, who's on Tuesdays, bringing you all kind of medical advice, information, knowledge. People like Chef Charles, who's on trying to encourage our community, implore our community to do better by our health. And crickets, we don't support the positive things a lot of times that are going on in our community. We could learn a lot from other folks and how they do things. I'm imploring you guys, we gotta do better. We have got to do better. If there is something negative, or when there's something negative, we're quick to jump on the bandwagon. We're quick to do that. But when people are literally out here in the community trying to do things positive, we don't get elevated. Not that that's what we're trying to do, but my question is, why is it that it's okay for other folks to elevate folks that have far different messaging? And then when you have positive people in your community, crickets, nothing. We got to do better, my people. I'm talking to my community now. We got to do better. And we can do better. And it's time for us to do better, because the reality is you can mess around and lose your job behind your comments, sharing your opinions. And, we got the freedom of speech and all this. You can do it if you want to. But let me just be clear. And I'm going to lean in when I say this, because I want you to see what I'm saying. I want you to see and feel the words that are coming out my mouth. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody sending no plane to pick up your dead body. Ain't nobody lowering no flags for you. Ain't nobody giving you no medals when you die. Chances are that ain't going to happen for you. So what I encourage you to do is get your business straight. Okay? Can I make it any clearer? Can I make it any plainer? Now, again, I'm going to go back to where I started. These are my personal views. These views do not express the feelings, the opinions of this radio station, WMPR, nor does it express the opinions of WGDQ. These are my personal opinions, and I appeal to you, my community. Let's not get distracted. Let's concentrate on what really does matter. Now, that being said, we are providing opportunities for education and implementation. You guys, October is National Estate Planning Awareness Month. Okay? There's a whole month set aside, October. We're going to be doing our part to make sure that our community is doing what they need to do. And we got a lot of work to do, you guys. That's why we can't get caught up in all this mess. Only 30% of us have done anything when it comes to estate planning. And we didn't come here to stay. We live in this world. Dr. Williams has laid out the statistics for you. If you missed that show, please go back. It's over there on YouTube at I Am So Noted. IAMSEWNOTED. Go back to my show from 2 weeks ago. I laid out the statistics on the death rate. We're leaving this world, you guys. It is time for us to get our affairs in order. It's time for us to get our affairs in order. We got to do better with this thing called transfer, wealth transfer. We've got to start leaving behind something other than debt, chaos, a lot of confusion, family members not speaking because we didn't do what we needed to do. Now, we're going to provide opportunities for you. I have designed a boot camp. It's called the Learning to Trust Estate Planning Boot Camp. It is a 6-week virtual boot camp. You can sit in the comfort and the privacy of your home or on your phone and take this class. If you know you have not done your estate planning. And a lot of people say, well, Dr. Williams, I don't own a home. I don't have anything to leave behind. It's more than just about your home, you guys. There's some things that we got to start doing that are not just about our home. And the only way that you're going to know what you need to do is for you to show up and come to class. We're giving you the education. I have made it affordable. I have made it so affordable. I'm ashamed to even say the amount on air because it's ridiculous. You can afford this class. Come to class. Make an investment in yourself. We invest in everything else that we want to invest in, people. We do. Dare I not go over the statistics again? We spend anywhere from 1.3 to 1.8 trillion with a T dollars annually as a community. We put that kind of money into the economy on an annual basis. So you can afford to invest in yourself. You can afford to invest in yourself and your knowledge. And let me just say this, and I'm going to make the preachers mad now, and y'all forgive me. I ask for forgive me, but I'm going to say this. In my 55 years on this earth, I can honestly say that I have never heard a sermon come from the pulpit around the concept of estate planning. So we're not talking about it at church. We're not talking about it in our homes. We're not talking about it in our schools. We're not talking about it at the family reunions and the family gathering. When are we going to talk about it? Because the reality is we all going to die unless the good Lord comes back before and we get caught up in the rapture, as I understand it. We're going to die and we're going to leave behind all of this stuff. All of this stuff that we spend a lifetime acquiring, things that we act a fool over, things we fight and we kill each other over stuff, you guys. We're going to leave it all behind. There's a way to transfer it. And if you don't know, we implore you, come to the class. You get Dr. Williams doing her level best to educate you. I'm going to pour into you everything that God has poured into me. I've invited 2 to 3 others of my doctor friends. Now, I'm going to say this. This class is priced so ridiculously low. You can't go to one doctor for the price of this class, let alone go 6 times and get multiple doctors. Invest in yourself. Stop investing your time in stuff that does not matter. Who gives a darn about somebody's opinion? I mean, if anybody got talked about more than me and people like me, Black women that are educated, I don't want to give this person any more of my time. I wasn't a fan of his. He wasn't a fan of mine. Let's move on, you guys, and focus on ourselves and what does matter. And the fact is, if you have not done what needs to be done, it's on you. It's on you. So we're offering the class. Those of you that need a view with that. And I'm sitting here right now, and this phone is as quiet as crickets, and y'all listening to me, knowing good and well you hadn't done what you need to be doing. Only 30% of Americans have done anything. Now, if as they say at the church, if I'm on your row, your pew, just say ouch and pick up the phone and call and get the help that you need. We're here to help you. This benefits your family. It doesn't benefit Dr. Williams in any way at all for your family to have their estate plan done. This is for you, to help you. I implore you. And this is why it's so hard for me, you guys. I sit here and I have to beg my own people to do what's in their best interest. They enriching their own to go around the country spreading hate. And somehow that's okay. Somehow that's okay. I don't get it. I'll never get it. It ain't for me to get. But what I will say to you, my listening audience, don't get caught up in all of that. Stay focused and get your business in order. October is National Estate Planning Awareness Month. We will be offering you assistance. We are offering a class. If you want to take the class, go over to the website, www.iamsonoted.co. Again, www.iamsonoted.co. Again, www.iamsewed.co. Let us help you with the implementation piece. I can give you the information, and I did that. I wrote a book. Many of you have bought the book. Many of you have read the book. I was very disappointed that not a lot of people had implemented, which is why we developed the boot camp to help you with the education piece of it. Now we are ready and we are prepared to help you with the implementation piece of it. Let's get this right, y'all. Let's get this right. There are a lot of things in our community that we are getting wrong. Wrong, real wrong. Let's make it a pact to get this part right. You have the help. You have the help that you need. Utilize your resources and utilize them properly. That being said, I want to just acknowledge a couple of people. Then we're going to go ahead with this closing monologue. I had an opportunity this weekend to speak to the Copiah County Ministerial Alliance down at Hazelhurst, Mississippi. I want to thank Pastor Dixon for the opportunity and the Alliance for the opportunity to come before you and talk about this very important topic. I thank you for the reception that I received. I thank you for your willingness to support our work here. This is my ministry, just like preachers have ministry. People that put their name ministry in their name. I don't have ministry in what I do, you guys, but this is clearly my ministry. And I am so thankful for those that choose to support the work that we do, whether it's by showing up on Monday mornings to listen to So Talk Money and more. Thank you. I thank them for generous contribution to help support the work, to make sure that we are able to continue bringing you this messaging. As you know, airtime is not free, okay? Like I say, very few things are free. Just because it ain't costing you nothing doesn't mean that it's not costing somebody something. Just keep that in mind. But thank you to that organization. If there are any of you out there that would like to support the work that we do, please feel free to give me a call at 601-891-5611. We welcome any support that we can get. We don't have sponsorship. So when you see me on air, as long as you see me here, that means I'm paying my bill every month. That comes out of Dr. Williams' pocket and doesn't come from anybody else. Nobody's giving me anything, and I'm not asking them for it. Okay? I do it because this is what I feel like I'm called to do. And as long as I feel that way, I will continue to do it. If you would like to support the work, we welcome any assistance that we can get. Okay? In closing, family, I want to leave you with this thought. Life insurance. Life insurance is not a luxury. It's not. It's really a necessity. We all need it. I don't know why it's not mandated. We mandate health insurance, car insurance, home insurance. We mandate all kind of other insurance, but we don't mandate life insurance. But it's a necessity. It's not just about death. It's about life. It's about love, and it's about legacy. Too often, our families, and when I say our, I'm talking about the Black community, let me just be clear. Our families are left scrambling, struggling, and even divided after a loved one passes away. Doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. Imagine the peace of mind knowing your children will be able to stay in the family home. Imagine your spouse not having to choose between paying bills and grieving. Imagine being able to leave behind not just memories, but leaving wealth behind, something that changes the trajectory of your family forever. Now, today we've talked about the top 5 mistakes, which were waiting too long, not getting enough, naming minors, relying only on jobs, and not using life insurance as a wealth building tool. Don't let these mistakes rob your family of the security they deserve. Love is making sure your family is protected. So start today. If you hadn't done anything, start today. Don't delay, don't wait. Get the coverage your family needs and use it not just to bury your loved ones, but to build them up. This has been So Talks Money and More. Until next time, protect your family, build your legacy, and keep breaking cycles. Peace.
Opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of WMPR Radio, its management, supporters, or affiliates. WMPR reserves the right to screen, edit, or refuse content that